Welcome everybody to the newest episode of Choppin It Up with the Cleavers. My name is Emmanuel Cleaver III.
I'm Emil Cleaver.
Emmanuel Cleaver IV.
So we have a new format. We're going generational. It's been a while since we've been with you, but we're here, back, doing some new things. So we're going to jump off, straight off, talk about the whole NBA, WNBA. Started with
WNBA.
Caitlin
Yeah, let's talk about the
Clark.
WNBA.
And everybody's talking about Caitlin, and some people are saying, oh, she hasn't done, WNBA numbers are rising. A lot of the older players seem to be upset. A lot of older fans who have been with the WNBA upset about Caitlin getting all the attention. What do you all think?
For those who've been under a rock,
Man,
so Caitlin Clark, the white superstar from Iowa, college superstar, went into the NBA, and with WNBA is mainly a black league. Some would say a lesbian black league, but Caitlin Clark came into the NBA as a rookie, and people are crowning her
so
the
we're talking
queen
about our thoughts
of
now.
the NBA. I'm trying to give you my
Man,
thoughts.
everybody knows.
I'm giving you my thoughts, man. Don't tell me how to
You're
break
telling
it
the
down.
news.
No.
You're not giving your thoughts.
No, you're just sit there.
Okay, spit. Go.
Learn.
Come on, man.
Yeah, don't interrupt me, man.
All right. But you're taking.
Okay.
You're not saying anything good.
Okay. So, there's a lot of players. Like I said, let me get back to what I was saying before I was interrupted. So she's been crowned the queen of the WNBA. And because of that,
Has she really been crowned the queen?
yes,
man?
she's
No,
been
she
crowned the
hasn't.
queen of the WNBA from the fans. Now, it sounds like you're
Casual fans.
the majority of fans. You
Go ahead.
you put a label on them all you want. The majority of fans have labeled her the queen of the WNBA. And there are players who are, in some people's eyes, jealous, or players who are just mad. So that's now you're caught up on what's going on. But yeah, so there's a different, voices out there saying jealousy. A lot of NBA players. I don't watch sports at all, but I see that there's a lot of NBA players, former NBA players, who are just calling these women jealous. Reggie Miller, Charles Barkley, Stephen Angry Smith. I mean, there are a lot of people who are just calling these women jealous. I don't know, because I don't keep up with it.
Here's my thing. Do either of you know who won the WNBA championship last year?
Yeah, I mean, the two-time reigning MVP, right?
I don't
Yeah,
know.
her name is.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
but you're
I
making a
think
point.
a lot of people don't. A lot of people, if you go around, walk across the street right now, and ask a lot of people who won the WNBA championship last year, they probably wouldn't know.
No, they don't know.
A lot of
It's
people,
sports, I would
but a lot
guess.
of people might know who's
Yeah,
going
it's
to win this
sports.
year because of how much attention it's getting. Now, I understand some people might be jealous. She's not as good as the players that have been in the league for a while now. But I imagine, I think it's because of the attention she got when she was in college in Iowa. Also, we have to mention Angel Reese, the whole rivalry, that championship game last year, where Angel Reese did the You Can't See Me and all that. That blew up. And I never watched women's college basketball, the WNBA. But after that, I made sure to watch them play this year when they played in the tournament this year because of how much buzz that got. And it's doing a lot for the game. I mean, I never really enjoyed the WNBA, but I've been watching a lot of games now because of how much attention Caitlin Clark has brought to the league. She's bringing more eyeballs to the league. I've seen a lot of people talk about they're trying to make this Caitlin Clark Angel Reese thing like a Bird and Magic thing. To mine,
That's a good thing.
I wasn't really alive during that. I wasn't alive at all during that period. So, but from my knowledge, they immediately came in the league and became great players. Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese are probably good players in WNBA. They're not great players yet, so that might be the difference. But I mean, if they can live up to the potential and the hype that they have, it could be really good.
I
for
wouldn't
the
say
WNBA.
that they were great players. Magic or Bird were great players in the NBA. They were good. Magic had a great final series, I wouldn't say they were great, but they were good their first year.
Yeah, they both had outstanding teams, which Caitlin Clark is on the worst team
Right,
in the NBA, so our WNBA last year. But Angel Reese has made a good point. She's saying people are watching the WNBA not just because of Caitlin, but because of me as well, and she is right. Because the only reason the world knows Caitlin, I mean, she's a baller. She did her thing in college. Nobody can take that away from her. But we didn't watch until her and Angel Reese had that thing, or the media jumped down Angel Reese's throat for her gestures. So she has just as much. She's the one who made Caitlin Clark popular because of the rivalry, the trash talk that they had. But I think the WNBA players, I understand if you've been putting in work, you're doing your thing, and now all of a sudden this rookie is getting all the attention. I understand why people are mad. But when their salaries start going up, that's a whole other thing. You know who to credit. It's going to be Caitlin Clark, and you have to give Angel Reese part of the credit because, again, from my perspective, we wouldn't be talking about Caitlin had it not been for that LSU and Angel Reese team.
I haven't. I get all my information from the news. I haven't watched 1 second of Caitlin Clark play. I haven't watched her in college. I didn't watch her in the WNBA. I didn't watch Angel Reese in college. I have not watched a basketball game or a football game outside of the Chiefs in maybe 5, 6, 7, 8 years. Sports just doesn't interest me. I think the last I did probably 3 years ago, I watched the LA Sparks game. It just happened to come on, and I just started watching it. I actually enjoyed it, but I don't watch. I don't care who you are. I'm not a follower, and that's what the world seems to be. Caitlin Clark, which is a good thing for WNBA, but just because all this has happened, I'm not gonna watch it. I get my news, and that's how I know about popular things that happen. But from what I've seen, I think it's a little bit of both. It's a little bit of jealousy. It's a little bit of hey, we've been here doing this thing and we're better than her, and we need to get our props. But yeah, the attention that she's bringing is undeniable. I mean, her last game, I read the capacity was 24,000, and I guess that was bigger than the NBA Finals, bigger attendance than the NBA Finals for a WNBA regular season game.
Yeah.
No, that's it happened.
Well, so I would say when Bird and Magic had that rivalry, I would bet that the other players it would have been the same with them. I know when in the NBA, when I used to watch the NBA religiously, whenever some superstar came in the league, other players made it a point. Okay, I'm sure this is not when Kobe came in. Everybody wanted to challenge. He wanted to challenge everybody too. But I mean, Kareem was the man on the Lakers. Magic just got all the attention. Boston Celtics had been good without Bird. He just got all the attention. But the media did hype because of their rivalry in college, and then of course the whole black-white thing. We cannot ignore that part of it.
That's a lot of what's going on.
Yeah.
And then also just now today, there's a big story because apparently Caitlin Clark won't be on the Team USA Olympic team. A lot of people. I mean, right now she's probably not one of the better players to be on that team. But a lot of people are like, oh, it's going to be a better marketing or for if they let her play down there. But
Yeah, but the Olympics, man, we don't come back with the gold. People gonna be mad. So you can't put pop. I mean, I know a lot of people want her on the team, popularity, but we got to win. But she even said, I mean, she's cheering for those. She hopes to be on the team someday. I think
she will be. I mean, that's obvious.
Yeah.
One day she'll be on there.
But there are too many other players that deserve to be on it. But at the same time, the NBA viewership is down. WNBA is up. NBA viewership is down. Now, I know you probably have some thoughts because you watch it. You don't watch it. But there's a reason why you don't watch the NBA after having watched it for decades religiously. So why?
Yeah. I mean, it's because it's more about stardom, I guess. I mean, I don't like the stardom. I don't like the time that's spent. I mean, there's other things to do in life. You watch basketball. If you're a basketball fan, if you're a sports fan, every single night of the week you can sit in front of the TV for 3 hours, 3, 4, 5 hours watching the game. Every single night. I remember when I was in my 20s and 30s, there was somebody's house we can go over every night of the week. There's some game on. Some game on. That's a waste of a lot of energy, a lot of time, a lot of arguing over nonsense. Who's the best, LeBron James or Michael Jordan? Well, who cares?
A lot of people do.
Well, I mean, Michael was best in his era. LeBron was best in his era. This argument of will never be determined. But my point is, I'm sure you've been around it where people are getting emotional, yelling and screaming, almost ready to fight because you're stupid if you think that LeBron is better than Jordan. You must be they're ready to fight over this. I ain't got time for that. I ain't got time to be thinking about that. It seems like it's more about, not more about. It's a lot of it is just stardom. They're just stars instead of the pure sport. I think that's one of the reasons. Football too.
Yeah. Well, why do you think it's down?
So there's a lot to say about. I have a lot to say about this. Me this year, I never really watched the game until the playoffs this year. Actually, I would turn on the TV and see a game, but I would scroll past it, and then so there's a lot. I'll break down. When I was growing up watching the NBA, you know the big games come on Thursday and Friday. Thursday on TNT, Friday on ESPN, and then during a certain part of the season, they'll start showing games Sunday afternoon on ABC. I think it's kind of watered down and ruined a lot because in those games, and I have nothing against LeBron, but I think he set a little bit of a bad precedent when he started resting games. Now a lot of players are resting games, and now you go to these games, you don't know who's gonna play.
They rest games now.
Yeah, who did we go when we went to Orlando? Remember we went to a game. Who was resting? No, Kevin Garnett didn't. What they played the Celtics?
Yeah, he was
but
hurt.
somebody else, Paul Pierce, because we got there. We were in Orlando.
Do that. You know who didn't do that?
Well, man, all the greats.
Yeah,
Kobe didn't do it.
I'm talking about the last. Kobe was the last probably great player that did not take days off. And he said why? Because he knows that there are people traveling from all over the world to see him play. So for him to take a day off is kind of selfish.
Because of that, if you turn on in your game this year, like it doesn't matter if it's the top two teams in the conference. If you turn on the games, there's going to be a lot of empty seats. That wasn't like that when I was growing up watching basketball. Those games were filled up when it's an important game. The fans in that city knew it was an important game. Now there's going to be a lot of empty seats. I watched the end of a Warriors-Lakers game. That's LeBron and Curry. There were a lot of empty seats in the Warriors arena during that game. And I think it's a lot to do with the people just don't want to pay money because they never know who's going to play and who's not going to play. Then a lot of injuries during the playoffs.
You can't help that.
Yeah, but I think Kevin Garnett made a good point. He said a lot of the players are getting injured because they don't really practice as hard. And so they think that rest is good for their body, but they're going in there playing in the intensity of the playoffs. They're getting injured. You look at this year's playoffs, Giannis, Damian Lillard went down really fast. Kawhi Leonard got hurt. There's a couple other star players, and they kind of messed up the first round of the playoffs for a lot of people. And then obviously Adam Silver hasn't done a good job of making new stars. You did in this finals. There's no LeBron. There's no Curry. This is
Luka.
Yeah, Luka. Luka's getting big, and I like Tatum a lot, but he's not like somebody who's going to cross over to like Curry or LeBron or Kobe did or other players did. So it's a lot that's leading to the downfall of the league. Like I said, I've barely watched any NBA this year. I've watched some of the playoff games. I've been watching the finals. But it's not. I guess it's not as exciting as it once was to me.
Maybe they should get Caitlin Clark to play in the NBA.
Well, here's I think I think everything you said is true, but here's another thing that has played a factor. Players switch teams every year. I mean, I know I hate when people say back in the day, but it is reality. In the golden era, you knew.
What's the golden era of basketball?
I think late 80s, early 90s. I mean, it was good even beyond in the early 2000s. But I'm saying that era because you turn to watch the Sixers, you knew who played for the Sixers. You watch the Bulls, you knew who played for the Sixers. Or you knew who played for the Bulls. Now you turn on the team, I'm like, man, when did he start playing for that team? They switch teams every single year, man. I'm talking about superstars switching teams. In addition to that, man, you can carry, you can double dribble, you can walk, all of these things it's ridiculous. Kobe Bryant said years ago, and you think about who was the MVP of the NBA this year.
Nikola Jokic.
Right, the European. Kobe Bryant said years ago, Europeans are going to take over the NBA because in America, they don't work on fundamentals. You want to do all that dribble. I mean, Kyrie Irving's is baller, but not everybody can do what Kyrie does. But everybody wants to do that. And in addition to that, there's no post-up game. Everybody shoots threes.
I was about to say, a lot of
that's all you do.
The centers, they're behind the
centers. Yeah, they don't post up; they run to the 3-point line. It's just a different game. So,
well, I mean, a lot of it you have to blame on social media, the video games, the attention span of people is not there. I mean, you could turn on a football game and pan in the stands, and you're gonna see people on their phone at a football game. How you gonna be on the phone at your football game? At a sporting event. I mean, that the attention span is gone. So that I think that contributes to the decline of the NBA. It's probably a few different reasons.
And the ticket prices.
Yeah, the ticket prices.
I mean, when we were trying to go see a Golden State Warrior game, we $250 each.
I mean, the only sports that I watch are. Go ahead, buddy.
Oh, it was the Warriors and Lakers, and LeBron didn't play, and I think either AD or Curry didn't play that game either.
Yeah, $250 and they're not playing? Come on.
The only sports that I watch are combat sports. I mean, those are the only sports I watch every Saturday. But if you've been paying attention to that, even that's changing. I mean, there was a time where there was a pay-per-view. I'm getting the pay-per-view no matter what. I'm getting UFC pay-per-view. But now, I mean, it's almost $100 for a show. I haven't gotten a pay-per-view in probably 2 years now. I watch if it's not on ESPN or one of the apps that I have or free station, I'm $80. I didn't even watch UFC 300. I didn't even pay for that. I mean, it's too much. They have a pay-per-view every month, and that's why you're going to see pay-per-views going to streaming services. You're going to see more things like Jake Paul and Mike Tyson on Netflix. You're going to see it on Prime. You're going to see it on all these other states. Yeah, it's a lot better and you're going to get a lot more views by doing that because people aren't going to want to pay
Jake
that.
Paul, I think you have to get like Netflix Premium or something.
You have to get Netflix. Still you got to pay for it?
It's like
not
some
regular subscription.
Yeah, not the regular. You got to be like pay a little extra for your subscription.
Well, that's still better than.
But I'm not.
If they give you something that's better, I mean, that's still better than paying $88 for every other month for a pay-per-view or every other week for a pay-per-view. I mean, that's a better.
But yeah, I mean, overall, I think the NBA has slipped tremendously. I do like the point that they switch teams. Even in football, you know who's going to be on the Chiefs, the Bengals, it's usually the same cast of people. The NBA is a lot of people switched up. I watched the game and I was like, I had no idea PJ Washington was playing for the Mavs or Norman Powell was playing for the Clippers now. I was surprised by all these people switching. Who I didn't know Tristan Thompson was still in the NBA.
Yeah.
He's playing for the Cavaliers.
Yeah, I can see how people would hurt people cheering for a team. Definitely, because you can't. It would be hard to follow. What y'all think about the college players being able to get paid?
About time.
I mean, they can get paid a lot of money, maybe millionaires, and some of them can play in college, become millionaires from that, and never make it to the NBA.
Well, the colleges and all these companies were making millions off of them.
I mean, I'm not mad at it.
I mean,
I'm not mad at it.
yeah, I mean, it's a real thing. I remember years ago, and I probably still do this. I mean, like a blue chip player, take out an insurance policy on them. If they get hurt playing in college, they still get some money because they may not be able to make it to the next level because of an injury. But yeah, it's a good thing. But I want us to transition. I know it's old for a lot of folk, but we haven't had a podcast to talk about it. And that is this guy by the name of Sean Combs. I guess got in a little trouble.
Yeah, we talked about it a little bit on our last one, but since then,
way out.
He's gotten a lot more. It's becoming a Jeffrey Epstein. My problem is with these bodyguards.
Man.
These bodyguards coming on all these podcasts
talking
about not more than him.
What's happening?
All these people are talking about, all these things that happened. There's another one doing a series of interviews now, and he's talking about how he was abusing Cassie. And I'm thinking, well, you need to be prosecuted too, brother. You're the security, and you're letting this happen. And then one of them is saying, well, when I wasn't around, but when you heard about it, you didn't do anything. So, I mean, a lot of these people need to be arrested. I mean, I'm sure there's record label execs. There's people that work for him. There's other rappers. A lot of people who should be held accountable for this. And I'm sure we haven't heard the end of it. I mean, because remember, they found all those recordings, those secret recordings he had all throughout his house. So during his parties, I'm sure he has politicians, entertainers, athletes, in uncompromising positions. So just like Jeffrey Epstein, that's what it reminds me of, this Epstein. He had this log of all these people who visited his island, and then he mysteriously, dies or whatever. But yeah, I think it's going to be a lot more. I think it's a lot of other rappers who probably should be investigated too, just because some of the things that these bodyguards are saying.
Yeah. I was about to say, there was like a Rolling Stone article, and one of the stories was like when he was at Howard, he brutally beat a woman, and a lot of people saw it. And I was reading it like, okay, why didn't anybody tell the police about it? Why didn't anybody do anything about that? They don't look good doing it with this either. Just saying he beat the woman and they didn't do anything about it. And they waited all this time to come out and say something about that.
And the most interesting thing that I've heard was Dr. Umar, who, of course, I don't always agree with anybody, but he's kicked some facts. Are black people mad at, are they happy that they're seeing somebody fall from grace, a rich person who made it fall from grace? Or are they mad that somebody who was an abuser is caught? I'm saying the first one. They're not mad that an abuser got caught. They don't care. Most of the black community don't care that Puffy beat up Cassie and beat up these other girls, and they don't care. And let me tell you why.
Okay.
It's because if you care about that, why is it so relevant in our community?
Why is it so relevant?
Relevant. Why do black women get beat up all in our community? You can't. Do you know the numbers of black women getting beat?
All I did was ask a question.
I'm just saying. Because you asked a question like you doubted that.
No, I wanted to. Man, don't try to read my mind. Who are you, Charles Xavier?
I don't know who that is.
Professor X, like reading people's minds.
I don't know. I don't watch superhero movies. They're done.
He's Tyrone is a big superhero.
Oh, really?
He is huge. Comic books and everything. But anyway, I'm just asking a question.
Okay, so the abuse in the black community is relevant. I mean, it's
prevalent or relevant?
It's relevant and prevalent. I mean, there's a lot of physical abuse, domestic violence in the black community. but yet the black community seems so outraged about Puffy. We're not outraged every day about our neighbors, our uncles, our not our uncles, but you know what I'm saying, our people in our families are doing this. We know it. Everybody knows somebody who abuses somebody. So I mean, this fake outrage, that's the social media fakeness, the social media wokeness is kind of disgusting.
And I've been watching Gene Deal, this bodyguard, for a while. He's been doing interviews, and he was like, for years he's been talking about Diddy taking money from people, or he believes Diddy was involved in murders, but he never said anything about the abuse, about Diddy abusing Cassie or any woman until the allegations started coming out.
He said he was never around for it.
So I'm like,
I don't believe half the stuff he said. He's just making his rounds to stay popular, saying what
a lot of people are that were
yeah,
around him.
There's other podcasters who are speaking about the abuse, and they've abused women.
Joe Budden.
Joe Budden. That was something, but maybe he's speaking to him. So I didn't watch the whole thing, but Joe Budden, who has a podcast, he was convicted of beating at least one woman, but he came out pretty hard against Sean Combs. But yeah, he himself likes to beat let me not say he did. Maybe he's
abused multiple women. He was convicted for one.
So yeah, it is that selective outrage. People just want to say something. They like to see the fall. You are right. Domestic violence is a real thing in our community. So, but that's Diddy. So we'll.
Yeah, and I'm waiting. There's a TMZ did a little documentary, but supposedly 50 Cent has one. So I'm waiting for him. I'm waiting for his to.
He loves to see people fall.
Him and Diddy have a long history.
Yeah, who does he not have beef with?
Well, I mean, they have some real beef. He didn't like some things that Diddy said to him. He asked him if he could take him shopping, and that really offended him.
Yeah, I heard
I can't wait to see that documentary.
Just because he wanted to take him shopping. Let me take you shopping.
He said where he's from, you don't ask another man to take him shopping.
Well, you heard about the no Diddy thing? Where people were saying no Diddy.
Yeah, and his son came out with
this.
Yeah, there's some things, accusations against his son.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, I remember.
Involving violence and
which one? The rapper King.
Yeah,
King. Whatever.
Violence and whatnot. So we'll see what happens. And he came out bragging about that in that rap about y'all were at the wrong house and all this, and he dared somebody to say didn't know Diddy or whatever. And I'm like, man, this young man needs to just be quiet. He grew up.
That's arrogance.
Silver spoon.
That's what I'm saying.
He doesn't know. He doesn't know any.
Well, you have people although domestic violence and all that stuff happens on every socio-economic level, but you have people like that, Epstein, and we can go down the list, who think that even Donald Trump, who think, okay, because I'm rich and powerful, I can do whatever I want. I mean, Donald Trump's getting away with it.
I guarantee you, most people are getting away with it. Most rich people are getting away with it.
Yeah, I mean,
there might be a lot of people that we just don't know.
No, there are. No, there's no question about that. There's no question about that. So yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens with that. I want to talk about this a little fun thing real quick. So there's a graduation video.
It's fun.
Well, I mean, it's kind of funny.
Okay.
It's a graduation that, man, I forgot to see what school. Did you see what school it was from?
I don't remember what school, but it's been circulating around the internet.
Yeah, so you can go to D.L. Hughley's Instagram page. He has a video of it. There's a graduation, and the students are coming forward to receive their degree, and they're shaking the different professors and the dean's hands.
I thought it was high school.
No, I think it's a college.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
I thought it was the superintendent.
Oh yeah, you're right. So it was a high school, and so there's a black superintendent who's shaking the student's hand, and as this white woman is about to shake the superintendent's hand, a white man comes from the audience, pushes the man out. I mean, pushes him out of camera view and tell him, no, you can't do this, because apparently he did not want his daughter to touch a black man's hand. Because of this, and it's circulating around the internet. I'll put a link in our bio.
Let me say something to that father. your daughter's been touching black men.
Yes.
Just so you know. she's
had boys.
Yeah, she's had interaction. Yeah, let me not. She's been interacting with black boys before, so and she will continue. I'm not saying anything crazy or anything.
No sexual.
But I'm not saying anything like that.
She's friends with some black people.
She interacts with black people.
Same school here.
Yeah, she interacts with black people, Father. So I'm sorry.
You may have some personal with that.
Hopefully she'll bring a black man home to marry one day.
Yeah, that's what most of the comments were saying, that hopefully he'll have a son-in-law that's black. But the interesting thing, and one of the things that, of course, I'm thinking of, if I'm in that situation, the guy let him push him a little too far, the black man. I mean, he pushed him out of camera view, and he's saying, the black man, hey, what's going on? My thing is, just knowing how I am. If I saw somebody walking on stage, walking toward me who didn't have a right to be there, I think my training, what I've been trained to do, might start popping in. He may get a little, push me an inch, but I don't see how he would, out of the camera view. Like I said, I'm gonna put the video link in our comments. But there's no way I would have been pushed more than an inch before he would have seen an elbow. I'm not mad at the black man, but
he probably did the right thing.
He did. I'm a little disappointed that he let him do that much, because to me, you have to teach people. You have to teach them, hey, no, this is wrong, and this is why this is wrong, and here's something to remember.
For me, I think I probably would have, put him down, not because of, he didn't want me to shake his daughter's hand, but because we live in a crazy world. Yeah. I don't know what this dude is up to. I don't know what he has. So I have to do everything in my power to put him so that he's lying completely still on the ground.
Yeah. Somebody's walking towards you in a hostile manner. You don't have time to see what he's talking about. So, and the superintendent, he may not have, the guy may have been a strong guy or something. So, yeah, but he did what he did. That says a lot about the world we live in, the climate, the racial climate.
Well, do we know why he did it? Was it racism? Well, who was that said? Nikki Haley said racism doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Nikki, here's some more proof. She thought that the black man's hand, the blackness would rub off on his daughter. So he refused to let it happen. Yeah, I guess he did. The superintendent probably handled it the best way, because the security eventually came up and took care of things. But Father, you did it to the right man. Don't think it's always going to go down like that. Next time your daughter wants to shake somebody's hand, don't think it's always going to go down like that. You could get hurt. And I want to invite you to come on the show so we can have a conversation with you. Just want to see where your head is right now.
It'll be all good.
I had something I wanted to, and I talked about this, shared it before the show. It's not conversation, but I want to share maybe some artists that folk may not be familiar with, ask you all to review them, and then come back and tell me what you think about them.
Who's the artist?
Well, I had one, but he knows the artist. So,
I've heard him too.
You know Nick? Okay.
Yeah.
I'll say to you, I'm going to give you an old school folk person, and you give me somebody new. So I'm going to ask you, when we meet next time, to go listen to J. Rue the Damager. He talked about Puffy.
You got to give him a song.
He's got to listen to more than one.
Okay.
I'll give you some songs, but he talked about Puffy ruining hip hop back in the 90s.
What was this?
In the 90s, he said that.
93, 94.
It was 90. It was on his second album.
95.
That he really went off on Puffy.
Yeah,
At least 2 songs he goes off on Puffy.
The Sunrise in the East.
Yes.
Yeah, that's his first album. The second album was called Wrath of Math. So check him. I'll give you a few
Hopefully we can
songs.
bring him in town one day.
But yeah, I want you to listen to the Puffy songs where he talked One Day is one of the songs. So just the old school rapper being listened to by young ears. So who's a young cat that we need to listen to?
Underground kind of that people might not know. Well, I don't know if you all would know him. Larry June.
No, Larry June.
Yeah,
Larry June.
Check him out.
California.
All right, I'll look him up. I like lyrics, so
Yeah,
I'm not just listening for a beat. I mean, he's got to be. Is this a lyricist?
yeah. He's more like a positive, like, you know what I mean. He's telling people to, like, encouraging people to get on their grind and all that.
Yeah, let me check him out.
Okay. Larry Doom.
Larry June.
Let me tell you that somebody listen to them. You probably haven't listened to them. It's a group called Earth Gang.
I've heard of them. J.
I
Cole's
know you
artists.
have, but I'm talking about
Earth Gang.
Yeah,
Okay.
Earth Gang. They're a mixture of Outkast and maybe a tribe, or they're real eclectic. But they're. When I say they're like Outkast, they don't sound like Outkast, but you can tell they're influenced by Outkast, definitely. But before we leave, I want to tell about a show that I watched on Netflix, Dancing for the Devil. It's about
Oh yeah, I saw the first episode. Of
yeah,
that.
it's about
That's
these
crazy.
guys. I'm not gonna give away too much, but you should check it out.
Crazy.
It's about these Instagram dancers who dance for this guy. It's a cult, and they're still around. 7M, this cult. So they dance. He has all these young people dancing on Instagram. They live in the same house. They have millions of followers. But you know, they during the day they create content, and at night they have to go to church.
Well, they go and listen to him talk.
Listen to him, and I can get, and you know, as you know, millions of followers leads to millions of dollars on Instagram. But I'm gonna let you find out who you think is getting all those millions. But yeah, Dancing for the Devil. It's brand new on Instagram. It's very intriguing because there's families who are trying to get their kids back. Because of course in the cult they cut them off. Even though millions of people are seeing them on Instagram, they can't get in touch, have a relationship with them. But so yeah, check that out.
How many episodes? I saw the
3.
first
It's just
3.
3. It's just
Okay.
3. It's just 3.
I was like, man, this sounds ridiculous.
Yeah, and
It's
it's more
dancing.
ridiculous because they're doing it in real time. So there's some things that you probably didn't know that's going to happen that happen, but yeah, it happens in real time. So those first interviews, the days after that, there's some things that happen. So yeah, the second.
Wait, this is based on the.
Yeah, this is real.
It's
This
real.
is
It's
real.
going on right now
This is a
in the
documentary
world.
series. Yeah, it's a documentary series. A cult, Dancing for the Devil.
Yeah, I mean, they're all over TikTok. So I've
I don't
seen
have
some of
TikTok,
them
yeah.
when they I don't. Yeah, well, people put TikTok on like Instagram on others. That's
they're
when
on
I see
Instagram
it.
too, yeah.
So when I watched it, I was like, okay, I've seen those two before.
Yeah, they're popular.
They're all over. Yeah. So any parting words? Election is coming up. It's crazy.
We'll be back many times before the election.
What?
We'll be back many
I
times
know,
before
I
the
know,
election.
but I mean, it's election season.
Just keep it open, man. Everybody vote.
It's election season. With that, check us out. Most places you get your podcast. We're going to be coming with some new and different, exciting things. So stay tuned.
Peace.
I'm a walking man.